On our website, you can get PDF learning materials for free. Please visit englist.me.
Collaborate.
To work with someone else to produce or achieve something.
Examples:
Collaborate with the police. Collaborate on a press release. She agreed to collaborate with him in creating new artwork.
Consumption.
The amount used or eaten, the act of using up a resource such as energy, food, or materials.
Examples:
Average fuel consumption. The consumption of food. In our country, water consumption usually decreases during the winter.
Convince.
To persuade someone or make someone believe that something is true.
Examples:
Convince her to go with us. Convince an opponent. I am considering what I should do to convince him.
Flimsy.
Very thin and easily broken or damaged, poorly made and not strong enough for the purpose for which it is used.
Examples:
A flimsy structure. Make a flimsy excuse. His arguments are based on flimsy evidence.
Trend.
A general direction in which something is changing or developing.
Examples:
An international trend. The trend away from television. The oil price continued their downward trend.
Economy.
The system by which a country or region produces, manages, and distributes goods and services, including the money and finances involved in these activities, of an airline, the lowest priced, most basic option for seating in commercial travel.
Examples:
Economy of scale. Economy class. The economy of the country is struggling due to the recent political instability.
Reinvent.
To change something so drastically that it looks to be completely new.
Examples:
Reinvent local dishes. Reinvent our life. They have tried to reinvent their grocery stores.
Consume.
To spend something, especially fuel, energy, or time, in a large amount.
Examples:
Consume a large of alcohol. Consume electricity. A smaller car will consume less fuel.
Deceptive.
Tending to mislead or deceive either deliberately or inadvertently, causing one to believe what is not true or fail to believe what is true.
Examples:
Deceptive practices. Appearances are deceptive. The politician's statements were found to be deceptive and not based on fact.
Probable.
Likely to happen or likely to be true.
Examples:
Probable outcome. Probable cause of a fire. It seems probable that he has forgotten our scheduled meeting.
Precise.
Sharply exact or accurate or delimited.
Examples:
Precise analyses. Estimate precise costs. The content is precise and informative for me.
Jack.
A mechanical device used for lifting or supporting heavy objects.
Examples:
A jack of all trades. A line and jack. He used a jack to lift the car to change the tire.
Defeat.
To win against somebody in a fight, war, or attempt.
Examples:
Defeat a global power. Defeat body odor. Despite his best efforts, he was unable to defeat the enemy.
Terror.
Intense fear, a state of intense fear or alarm.
Examples:
Terror attack. Terror group. The bomb blast spread terror among the people.
Obsolete.
No longer in use or helpful because something newer or better has been invented and introduced.
Examples:
An obsolete word. Become obsolete. New technology has rendered my old smartphone obsolete.
Immediate.
Happening or done without delay or occurring shortly after something else.
Examples:
Take immediate effect. The immediate past. Both forts were subject to immediate attacks.
Latent.
Existing but not yet expressed, active, or visible, hidden or dormant.
Examples:
Latent desire. Latent threat. Many people have latent talents they are not aware of.
Confession.
A formal statement in which one admits that they have done something wrong or illegal.
Examples:
A confession of guilt. A confession of faith. The prisoner made a full confession and admitted to his crime.
Fan.
A person who admires and supports a person, group, sport, sports team, etc., a device for creating a current of air by the movement of a surface or surfaces.
Examples:
A film fan. Engine cooling fan. I'm a big fan of French food.
Warm up.
To prepare oneself physically, mentally, or emotionally for an activity or performance by engaging in light exercises, practice, or relaxation techniques. Noun, a period of preparation or exercise that is done before a more intense activity or performance.
Examples:
Warm-up exercises. Warm up the crowd. It's important to warm up before exercising to prevent injury.
Sequel.
A book, film, or other work that continues the story of an earlier one.
Examples:
Sequel to the movie. Film sequel. Fans eagerly anticipated the sequel to the popular book.
Swap.
To give something and receive something in trade.
Examples:
Swap seats. Swap columns with rows. Don't swap horses while crossing a stream.
Unwanted.
Not wanted or desired.
Examples:
Unwanted attention. Unwanted guests. He threw away the unwanted items in his closet.
Sector.
A distinct part or division of something, often used to refer to a segment of an economy or industry, an area or field of work or activity.
Examples:
Industrial sector. Private sector. The technology sector is constantly evolving and innovating.
Emerging.
Starting to exist, mature, or become well known.
Examples:
Emerging country. Emerging technologies. Emerging technologies have dramatically improved productivity in various industries.
Analogy.
A comparison between similar things that have similar aspects, often used to help explain a principle or concept.
Examples:
Draw analogy. Historical analogy. Some kinds of machine learning models show an analogy to how people learn.
Infinite.
Unlimited or very great, impossible to measure.
Examples:
Infinite appetite. Infinite in supply. The battle had an infinite impact on the nation.
Marketplace.
A physical or virtual venue where goods or services are bought and sold, an economic system that facilitates exchange between buyers and sellers.
Examples:
Marketplace competition. Global marketplace. The online marketplace offers a wide variety of products for shoppers.
Appropriate.
Suitable or proper in the circumstances, fitting.
Examples:
Appropriate behavior. An appropriate time. It would be appropriate to dress nicely for the wedding.
Instantly.
Immediately.
Examples:
Instantly cope with. Be killed instantly. I remembered that person instantly and never forgot.
Behold.
To look at and observe with attention.
Examples:
Behold the sunrise. A joy to behold. His angry expression was not a pleasant sight to behold.
Economical.
Providing a satisfactory return on the money, time, or effort, not using more money, fuel, etc. than necessary.
Examples:
Economical use of her time. An economical meal. It is more economical to wash your plastic bottle and reuse it.
Coincidence.
An occasion when two or more similar things happen at the same time by chance, in a surprising way.
Examples:
The coincidence of an opinion. By a strange coincidence. It was a pure coincidence that we met her in the library.
Approximately.
Close to a specific number or time, but not exactly that number or time.
Examples:
Approximately 3 feet long. Approximately same. This trail takes approximately 2.5 hours.
Amazing.
Extremely surprising, especially in a way that you like or admire.
Examples:
Amazing advances. The most amazing feeling. The golfer recorded an amazing distance.
Postage.
The cost or fee paid for sending a letter or package through the mail or postal service. The stamps or labels affixed to a mail item to indicate that the required postage has been paid.
Examples:
Postage cost. Prepaid postage. I need to buy more postage stamps for my international mail.
Label.
A small piece of paper, fabric, or other material attached to an object and giving information about it. Verb, to assign to a category.
Examples:
A mailing label. Label a bag with my name. The label on the food package lists the ingredients and nutritional information.
Spot.
A particular location or place, a small round or roundish area, differing in color or feels from the surface around it.
Examples:
Beauty spot. A spot on his honor. This remote spot is rarely visited.
Layer.
A sheet, quantity, or thickness of the material, typically one of several, covering a surface or body, a level or part within a system or set of ideas.
Examples:
Layer cake. Layer of paint. The layer of frost on the ground was so thick it was difficult to walk on.
Passion.
Intense, driving, or overpowering feeling or conviction.
Examples:
Passion hobby. Passion drive. Her passion for cooking is evident in every dish she prepares.
Dedicate.
To give all of your energy, time, etc., entirely to a specific person, activity, or cause, to set apart for a particular purpose or use.
Examples:
Dedicate a few hours. Dedicate a chapter to the subject. He dedicated his life to helping others.
Mechanics.
The branch of physics that deals with the study of motion, forces, and energy. Mechanic, someone whose occupation is repairing and maintaining automobiles.
Examples:
Mechanics equation. Mechanics of the game. He studied mechanics in college and now works as an engineer.
Inherent.
Existing in something as a permanent, essential, or characteristic attribute.
Examples:
Inherent risk. Have an inherent dislike. Honesty is an inherent quality that everyone should strive to possess.
Crazy.
Stupid or not sensible, very angry.
Examples:
Crazy about cars and racing. A crazy scheme. The rain and thunder are crazy today.
Negative.
Having the quality of something bad or harmful, expressing refusal.
Examples:
Have a negative effect. A negative number. The movie has received almost universally negative criticism.
Relative.
Considered and evaluated through comparison with something else.
Examples:
A remote relative. Relative factors. Most countries prohibit sexual activity between certain close relatives.
Extreme.
Very great in amount or degree.
Examples:
Extreme sports. Extreme weather events. Solar gravity creates extreme pressures and temperatures.
Dynamic.
Having a lot of energy, ideas, and enthusiasm and a strong personality, of or relating to dynamics, equals the branch of physics and engineering concerned with the forces that cause motions of bodies.
Examples:
A dynamic market. Dynamic person. The sprinter has a dynamic way of running.
Commerce.
The activity of buying and selling things, especially on a large scale.
Examples:
Interstate commerce. The local chamber of commerce. This company has invested heavily in internet commerce.
Implication.
Something that is inferred or indirectly stated, the act or fact of being involved in something.
Examples:
The implication in a crime. The implication of a word. His poem has a very significant implication.
Enabling.
Providing the means, support, or resources necessary for something to happen or be achieved, allowing or encouraging a particular behavior or activity.
Examples:
Enabling infrastructure. Enabling mindset. Enabling technologies allows people with disabilities to lead more independent lives.
Mimic.
To imitate someone's speech, movement, or behavior, especially to make others laugh.
Examples:
Mimic a human voice. Mimic numerous instruments. He is very popular at school because he can mimic all the teachers' accents.
Barter.
The exchange of goods or services without the use of money, a system of trade in which individuals exchange goods or services directly.
Examples:
Barter system. A barter economy. The farmers engaged in barter to trade their crops with other farmers in the community.
Appealing.
Attractive or exciting, evoking a positive response or desire, having qualities that are likely to encourage someone to like or enjoy something.
Examples:
Appealing design. An appealing offer. The well-crafted plot and interesting characters made the book very appealing to readers.
Fascinating.
Extremely interesting.
Examples:
Fascinating story. Completely fascinating to me. The museum houses a fascinating collection of Celtic artifacts.
Mighty.
Very large, powerful, or strong.
Examples:
Mighty works. Struck a mighty blow. Only the mighty God has the power to brighten this dark land.
Exchange.
To give something and receive something else in return, often with the implication that the items being traded are of equal or comparable value. Noun, the act of giving or taking something in return for something else, a place or system where goods or services can be bought, sold, or traded.
Examples:
Exchange rate. Exchange a few friendly words. My sister and I frequently exchange books as we love reading.
Fee.
A sum of money charged for a particular service.
Examples:
Fee calculation. Service fee. The lawyer's fee for the case was $10,000.
Platform.
The raised flat space close to the track at a train station where passengers get on or off the train. Technology, a computational or digital environment in which a piece of software is executed.
Examples:
An arrival platform. A digital platform for enterprise. The speaker mounted the platform and started to speak.
Doll.
A child's toy that typically represents a human figure, especially a young girl, an attractive woman, a woman who is subservient or passive.
Examples:
Plastic doll. Rag doll. The antique doll was worth thousands of dollars.
Hippie.
A person who follows a counterculture movement that originated in the United States during the 1960s, characterized by the advocacy of nonviolence, communal living, and a rejection of traditional American values.
Examples:
Hippie lifestyle, hippie music. The fashion of the hippie movement included unconventional clothing such as tie-dye shirts and bell-bottom jeans.
Swell.
To become larger or more inflated, to become more intense or important.
Examples:
Swell at room temperature. Swell a population. His arm was swelling from the insect bite.
Rightful.
Having a legally or morally claim, proper or appropriate according to law, ethics, or fairness, rightfully and deservedly belonging to someone or something.
Examples:
Rightful owner. Rightful heir. He filed a lawsuit to reclaim his rightful property.
Complicated.
Involving a lot of different things or parts in a way that is difficult to understand or analyze.
Examples:
A complicated process. Become increasingly complicated. He did complicated pen and ink drawings in just a few days.
Disconnect.
To unfasten or disjoin something, especially to break the connection between a supply of gas, water, or electricity and a piece of equipment.
Examples:
Disconnect a plug. Disconnect the water supply. She finally decided to disconnect herself from the company.
Conceptual.
Related to or founded on ideas, principles.
Examples:
Conceptual art. New conceptual framework. He has absolutely no conceptual comprehension of maths.
Firework.
A device that produces a colorful display of light and sound when it is ignited.
Examples:
Firework discharge. Grand firework display. The children were excited to see the fireworks show.
Display.
To exhibit or show something to others, often to attract attention or demonstrate its features, properties, or value.
Examples:
Display merchandise. Display artwork. We need to display our products in an attractive way to attract customers.
Dot.
A very small circular mark, especially one that is printed.
Examples:
Connecting the dots. Dot blot method. The wallpaper had a pattern of pink dots on a white surface.
Concept.
An idea or principle associated with something abstract.
Examples:
Learn new concepts. Concept car. One such rapidly growing concept is quantum cryptography.
Wisdom.
The quality of being wise, or the ability to use your knowledge and experience to make sensible decisions.
Examples:
A fountain of wisdom. Wisdom literature. The community greatly respected and sought after the older adult's wisdom.
Mob.
A large and disorderly crowd of people, a large horde of animals.
Examples:
Mob psychology. Mob violence. The excited mob was getting out of control at the concert.
Ridiculous.
Very silly or unreasonable and deserving to be laughed at.
Examples:
A ridiculous amount of money. A ridiculous suggestion. Everyone regarded the theory he advocated as ridiculous, but was later proven correct.
Mania.
A psychological or emotional state that is marked by excessive enthusiasm, excitement, or delusions, a strong and uncontrollable desire or craving for something.
Examples:
Startup mania. Dance mania. The mania for collecting rare books led him to spend his savings on a first edition.
Elect.
To choose someone for a specific position by voting for them, to decide or choose to do something.
Examples:
Elect the school board. Elect death. Every 5 years, the provincial governors are elected.
President.
The leader of a republic, for example, the U.S., the person in charge of the organization, such as a company, university, club, etc.
Examples:
President Emeritus. Vice President for Finance. The club president does not have absolute power.
Infamous.
Having a reputation for being very bad or wicked.
Examples:
An infamous crime. Acquire an infamous reputation. The infamous criminal was finally brought to justice.
Wikipedia.
An online encyclopedia that allows users to contribute and edit articles collaboratively, a vast and frequently updated repository of information on a wide range of topics.
Examples:
Wikipedia entry. Wikipedia article. Not all teachers accept citing Wikipedia as a valid source for academic papers.
Numb.
Unable to feel physical sensation and movement, not showing human feeling or sensitivity.
Examples:
Numb with cold. A numb mind. My left arm became numb.
Achieve.
To successfully complete a task or goal, often through hard work, perseverance, and dedication, to attain or accomplish something that one has set out to do.
Examples:
Achieve success. Achieve milestones. I will work hard to achieve my goals and realize my dreams.
Moving.
Causing strong emotions or feelings, especially sadness or sympathy.
Examples.
Moving experience. Moving ceremony. His moving speech about his struggles with addiction brought tears to the audience's eyes.
Passive.
Characterized by a lack of activity or initiative, not actively participating or engaging in something, marked by a tendency to accept things without resistance or opposition.
Examples.
Passive response. Passive vocabulary. The passive approach taken by the government towards climate change is concerning.
Middleman.
A person who acts as an intermediary between two or more parties, often facilitating the exchange of goods or services and taking a commission or fee for their services.
Examples.
Trusted middleman. Business middleman. The middleman in the real estate deal ensured a smooth and fair transaction.
Knit.
To make a garment or fabric by interlocking loops of yarn with needles or a machine.
Examples.
Knit my eyebrows. Knit a pair of socks. The grandmother knit a warm sweater for her grandchild.
Peer.
A person who has the same age, status, or ability.
Examples.
Peer group. Peer review. Among young people, peer pressure can be pretty influential.
Ubiquitous.
Being or existing everywhere at once.
Examples.
Ubiquitous computing. Ubiquitous across ecosystems. Sugar is ubiquitous in food.
Revolution.
A large-scale attempt to overthrow the government of a country, often using violence or war.
Examples.
Beginning of the Industrial Revolution. A political revolution. The revolution by the citizen resulted in a redistribution of wealth.
Phenomenal.
Extremely good or impressive, outstanding.
Examples.
Phenomenal success. Phenomenal growth. The athlete's phenomenal performance broke all previous records.
Tap.
To hit someone or something quickly, gently, and often repeatedly, to use existing resources, such as energy, knowledge, etc.
Examples.
Tap a new market. Tap keyboard with an index finger. To expand the company, we must tap new human resources.
Primate.
Any mammal of the order primates, which includes monkeys, apes, and humans.
Examples.
Primate species. Primate sanctuary. Many scientists study primate behavior and intelligence.
Instinct.
An inborn behavioral pattern that is often responsive to specific stimuli, an innate feeling that causes you to act or believe that something is true.
Examples:
Instinct for self-preservation. Aggressive instinct. When faced with a dangerous situation, his initial instinct was to flee.
Breed.
To keep animals for producing offspring in a regulated manner.
Examples:
Breed horses. Breed suspicion. This animal breeds in northern latitudes.
Cooperate.
To work together with one or more people or organizations to achieve a goal.
Examples:
Cooperate with one another. Cooperate closely in various ways. The team had to cooperate to complete the project on time.
Hunt.
To go after and try to catch wild animals to kill them for food, sport, or profit.
Examples:
Hunt a job. Hunt after knowledge. Hounds hunt their prey by using their keen scent.
Cooperative.
Involving doing something jointly or working with others to achieve a common goal.
Examples:
Cooperative savings. Fishing cooperative. We appreciate your cooperative efforts.
Fence.
A structure, usually made of wood or metal, that encloses an area, typically for protection or to keep animals or people in or out. A dealer in stolen property.
Examples:
Fence post. A brushwood fence. She planted a hedge to serve as a natural fence around her garden.
Fief.
An estate or land granted by a lord to a vassal in return for loyalty and military service during the medieval feudal system.
Examples:
Feudal fief. Inherited fief. The lord of the fief had the power to collect taxes from the peasants.
Digital.
Processing or storing information as a succession of 1 and 0 to show that a signal is present or missing, relating to the use of computer technology, especially the Internet.
Examples:
A digital watch. Digital electronic signature. Sensors convert physical phenomena into digital signals.
Native.
Connecting with or describing someone's birth country or place of birth, or someone born in a specific country or place.
Examples:
Native to Africa. Native language. The vegetation here is almost wholly native.
Millennial.
Relating to a period of 1,000 years or the year 2000. Noun, a person born between the early 1980s and the late 1990s, also called Generation Y.
Examples.
Millennial record. The millennial reign. Earth's ecosystems are greatly affected by millennial scale changes in climate.
Collaboration.
The act or situation of working together to create or produce something.
Examples.
Collaboration between companies. Collaboration platform. The partnership program requires a mutual collaboration between both agencies.
Locate.
To specify or determine the exact position of someone or something.
Examples.
Locate a missing pet. Locate a tumor. The robot can accurately locate construction material.
Device.
A piece of equipment, tool, or technology that serves a particular purpose or function, often mechanical or electronic.
Examples.
Electronic device. Tracking device. I always carry a backup device in case my phone runs out of battery.
Column.
One of the vertical blocks that split content on a page or screen from top to bottom, an upright pillar that often supports an arch, entablature, or other structure or stands alone as a monument.
Examples.
The spinal column. A column of water. The newspaper devoted several columns to the affair.
Poignant.
Evoking a keen sense of sadness or regret, emotionally moving, deeply affecting or touching.
Examples.
Poignant moment. Poignant memories. The movie's poignant ending left most of the audience in tears.
Rational.
Based on reason or logic, using good judgment and sound thinking.
Examples.
Rational decision. The rational faculty. The rational approach to problem solving involves weighing all options.
Scheme.
An organized and often large-scale plan or arrangement for doing something.
Examples.
A pilot scheme. Draw out a scheme. They carefully executed the well-planned scheme they had prepared over the years.
Individually.
Separately or apart from others.
Examples.
Answer questions individually. Individually designed product. Each department has done its product costing individually.
Twit.
A silly or foolish person, someone regarded as annoying or irritating.
Examples.
Celebrity twit. Neighborhood twit. Please ignore that twit on social media. Their opinions are irrelevant.
Complexity.
The state or quality of being complicated or intricate and difficult to understand.
Examples.
Cognitive complexity. Complexity theory. The project's complexity made it difficult for the team to complete it on time.
Renew.
To begin or resume something again after an interruption.
Examples:
Renew a contract. Renew its corporate image. I have to renew my passport by the middle of September.
Importance.
The quality of being important and worthy of note.
Examples:
A man of importance. High importance. I stopped by the branch though I have no business of importance.
Communal.
Belonging to or used by a group rather than individuals, for common use.
Examples:
Communal swimming pool. Communal combination of funds. Communal elections were held in several European countries.
Redefine.
To change the meaning or interpretation of something. To make people think about something in a new or different way.
Examples:
Redefine customer experience. Redefine our role. The video telephony application has redefined the way we work.
Torrent.
A sudden and violent stream as of water, lava, or mud.
Examples:
Torrent of words. Stem a torrent. The rain fell in a torrent, flooding the streets in minutes.
Fundamental.
Forming an essential base or core from which everything else develops or is affected.
Examples:
Fundamental education. Fundamental rights. Human behavior has fundamental characteristics.
Resolve.
To find a suitable answer to the problems or difficulty.
Examples:
Resolve a dispute. Resolve the computer error. This company resolves its battery problem completely.
Environment.
The natural world such as air, water, and land in which humans, animals, and plants live.
Examples:
Environment affairs. Chaotic environment. Every human is responsible for taking care of the Earth's environment.
Recession.
A period of economic decline, typically lasting for 6 months or more, during which trade and industrial activity decrease, and unemployment increases.
Examples:
Recession period. Recover from a recession. The country is facing a recession, with high unemployment and low GDP.
Shock.
A strong feeling or physical reaction to a sudden and unexpected event or experience, especially something unpleasant.
Examples:
Death from shock. Shock resistant. He got an electric shock at work.
Fuse.
A small part in an electrical device or machinery that can interrupt the flow of electrical current when it is overloaded. Verb, to become plastic or fluid or liquefied from heat.
Examples:
Fuse blows. Fuse with one another. He has a short fuse.
Shift.
A slight transition in position, direction, or trend.
Examples:
Doppler shift. Major paradigm shift. Could you help me shift some furniture?
Define.
To state or explain precisely the nature, scope, or meaning of something.
Examples:
Define a word. Define my position. To advance this discussion, we must define success rigorously.
Inflection.
A change in the pitch or tone of one's voice, a change in the form of a word to indicate tense, mood, gender, or other grammatical categories.
Examples:
Inflection in voice. Inflection pattern. The linguist studied the inflection of the language's inflection in speech.
Applied.
Of or relating to a subject of study, especially a science, that is used in a practical way.
Examples:
Applied research. Applied physics. Military technology eventually became the foundation for applied technology that supported people's lives.
Offline.
Not connected to the internet.
Examples:
Offline course. Offline mode. The computer is offline and cannot be accessed at the moment.
Commute.
To regularly travel a particular journey, especially between one's home and place of work. Noun, a regular journey of some distance to and from your place of work.
Examples:
Commute to work. Daily commute. He had to commute 2 hours each way to get to work.
Fashion.
A style that is popular at a particular time or place, the state of being popular.
Examples:
Go out of fashion. New fashion trends. That style is no longer in fashion.
Vary.
To become different in terms of size, shape, etc.
Examples:
Vary according to the age. Vary directly with the price. Maximum heart rates vary a lot for each individual.
Enormous.
Extremely large or great.
Examples:
Enormous amount. Enormous potential. Shakespeare's output of poetry was enormous.
Maturity.
The state of being fully developed, grown, or ripe, the quality or state of being fully developed mentally, emotionally, or intellectually, The ability to make sound and responsible decisions.
Examples:
Maturity level. Financial maturity. He showed great maturity in handling the difficult situation.
Dive.
To jump into the water with your head and arms going in first, or to move down to a deeper level underwater.
Examples:
Dive into anime communities. Dive off a cliff. The sperm whale can dive to 1,000 meters.
Organ.
A part of the body of an animal or plant that has a particular purpose and performs a specific job.
Examples:
Organ bleeding. Damage to internal organs. These infections have the potential to impact practically every organ system.
Redistribute.
To share something among people in a different way.
Examples:
Redistribute income fairly. Redistribute data. The general redistributed the troops more strategically.
Increasingly.
More and more.
Examples:
Increasingly become common. Face increasingly complicated challenges. Our company found it increasingly difficult to keep up with the competition.
Reuse.
To use something again or more than once.
Examples:
Reuse the materials. Reuse existing knowledge. The supermarket encourages shoppers to reuse plastic bags.
Recycle.
To sort and collect things to process them and produce valuable materials that can be used again.
Examples:
Recycle the cardboard boxes. Recycle milk packaging into new paper. We largely recycle the circuit board of cell phones because they contain a lot of valuable metals.
Stretch.
To make or be capable of making anything longer or broader without hurting or breaking.
Examples:
Stretch along the coast. Stretch a story. Some herds have been observed to stretch hundreds of kilometers.
Cycle.
An interval during which a recurring sequence of events occurs, a bicycle or motorcycle.
Examples:
The cycle of the seasons. Go to the workplace by cycle. The food chain causes a material cycle.
Thereby.
As a result, consequence of a particular action or set of conditions.
Examples:
Thereby obtain data. Thereby improving overall health. The new software will streamline the workflow, thereby increasing productivity.
Bet.
To risk money on the result of an event or a competition, such as a race or game, to get more money, to have faith or confidence in something.
Examples:
Bet on a race. Bet my future. I bet that you know it.
Phrase.
A group of words that mean something specific when used together.
Examples.
Ready-made phrases. Noun phrase. We bought a Spanish phrase book.
Co-worker.
A person who works with another in the same company or organization.
Examples.
Coworker relationship. Argue with a coworker. My ex-coworker and I had different working styles, but managed to get along.
Couch.
A piece of furniture made for sitting, usually with a back and armrests, designed to seat more than one person.
Examples.
Leather couch. A couch potato. I love to relax on the couch and watch movies on the weekends.
Vernacular.
A language or dialect spoken by the ordinary people in a particular country or region.
Examples.
Vernacular language. Native vernacular. The poet wrote in the vernacular of ordinary people.
Spare.
Additional to what is necessary for ordinary use, verb, to give time, money, space, etc., to someone.
Examples.
Spare parts. Spare cost. I made plans to spend my spare time beneficially.
Blacksmith.
A smith who forges and shapes iron with a hammer and anvil.
Examples.
Blacksmith welding. Blacksmith shop. The blacksmith shaped a horseshoe on his anvil.
Would-be.
Indicating a person who aspires or attempts to be something, but has not yet achieved that status or position.
Examples.
Would-be actor. Would-be entrepreneur. The would-be burglar was caught on the security camera and arrested by the police.
Brilliant.
Extremely clever, skilled, or impressive.
Examples.
Brilliant idea. Brilliant performance. The more brilliant you are, the more people around you look at you with envy and jealousy.
Outright.
Completely, and without reservation, without any attempt at concealment.
Examples.
Impose an outright ban. Outright lie. He made an outright donation of $1,000 to the charity.
Idle.
Not working hard or not having a job, useless.
Examples.
Live an idle life. Idle capital. There are several idle machines in the factory because of the decreased orders.
Drill.
A tool or machine used for making round holes or driving fasteners, a training or practice.
Examples:
The drill hit the well. Fire drill. Several military drill programs have become popular methods of exercise.
Lifetime.
The duration of someone's life or of something's existence.
Examples:
Lifetime benefits. Lifetime ban from the sport. She had lived through 2 world wars in her lifetime.
Sacrifice.
The act of killing an animal or person or surrendering a possession as an offering to a deity. Verb: to give up something important or valuable to help another person or get or do something that seems more important.
Examples:
Small sacrifice for a great cause. Sacrifice anything to get ahead. You cannot accomplish great things without a sacrifice of your time or money.
Cherish.
To hold someone or something dear. To feel or show affection for someone or something.
Examples:
Cherish a stuffed animal. Cherish relationships. She cherished the memories of her childhood.
Pit.
A hole in the ground or a cavity in a surface, a place for storing or holding something, a section of a theater or sports arena where people can sit.
Examples:
The bottomless pit. The pit of the stomach. The pit of the avocado can be removed by gently wedging a spoon around it.
Participate.
To take part in something.
Examples:
Participate fully in conversation. Participate in the program. The majority of students actively participated in the college's intramural sports program.
Confess.
To admit to having done something wrong or to reveal something personal or private.
Examples:
Confess sin. Confess truth. He confessed to his crime and turned himself into the police.
Addict.
A person who cannot stop using or doing something as a habit, especially something harmful.
Examples:
A drug addict. Internet addict. We have become TV addicts due to video streaming services.
Rookie.
A newcomer or beginner, specifically in a particular profession, sport, or activity, an inexperienced or naive person.
Examples:
Rookie mistake. Rookie teacher. The rookie player showed promise in the preseason games.
Surrender.
To cease resistance to an enemy or opponent and submit to their authority.
Examples:
Surrender at discretion. Surrender an insurance policy. The enemy was forced to surrender after a long battle.
Transport.
A system for moving people or products from one location to another using automobiles, roads, and so on.
Examples:
transport facilities, access to public transport. Enhanced rail transportation is crucial for our business.
Membership.
The state of belonging to a group, a club, an organization, etc.
Examples:
a membership fee, membership in a stock exchange. My application for membership in the association was accepted.
Absolutely.
Without restriction or limitation, completely or utterly.
Examples:
absolutely against, absolutely obsessed with the girl. I am absolutely opposed to his idea because of morality.
Staggering.
So shocking as to stun or overwhelm.
Examples:
staggering number, a staggering defeat. The amount of money required was staggering.
Statistics.
The discipline that concerns the collection, organization, analysis, interpretation, and presentation of data.
Examples:
statistics for cancer, official statistics. The statistics demonstrate that poverty and unemployment are genuine problems.
Urge.
To spur on or encourage someone, especially by cheers and shouts. Noun, a strong desire or impulse, especially one that is difficult to control or resist.
Examples:
urge a total ban, a sexual urge. The lobbyist urged Congress not to approve the measure.
Launderette.
A self-service laundry facility or establishment where customers can wash and dry their clothes using coin-operated machines.
Examples:
coin-operated launderette, launderette service. We opened a 24-hour launderette to cater to those who prefer doing their laundry at odd hours.
Friction.
The force that opposes motion between two objects in contact, especially by producing heat and wear, and is proportional to the normal force between the objects.
Examples:
friction force, surface friction. The friction between the two countries was causing tension.
Quotation.
A group of words taken from a text or speech and repeated by someone other than the original author or speaker.
Examples:
double quotation marks. Take a quotation. He included a quotation from the book in his essay.
Ownership.
The state or fact of possessing, controlling, or having the right to something, the legal and moral right to use or dispose of something as one chooses.
Examples:
property ownership, share ownership. The company's ownership has changed hands several times in the past few years.
Solar.
Of, from, or relating to the sun.
Examples:
The solar system. A solar eclipse. Solar panels have greatly improved not only in performance, but also in durability.
Coal.
A combustible black or brownish-black sedimentary rock that is found below the ground and burnt to produce heat.
Examples:
A coal-fired ship. Construction of new coal plants. We combust coal and other fossil fuels to generate electricity.
Generation.
All the people born and living at about the same time, regarded collectively, the production of heat or electricity.
Examples:
Generation gap. The generation of electricity. The younger generation has different values and beliefs than the older one.
Relation.
The way two persons or groups of people feel and act toward one another.
Examples:
Relation between cause and effect. Relation of inclusion. The industrial relations laws were passed with little to no alteration.
Satisfy.
To make somebody pleased by giving them what they want or need.
Examples:
Satisfy a desire. Satisfy a user's needs. Did this response satisfy your request?
Tangible.
Real and concrete, able to be perceived, especially able to be touched, of business assets, having physical substance and intrinsic monetary value.
Examples:
Tangible assets. Produce tangible results. A problem that has been pointed out for years finally becomes tangible.
Clunky.
Heavy, awkward, and old-fashioned, not graceful and clumsy in style, form, or movement.
Examples:
Clunky phrasing. Clunky robot. Refined character portrayal makes up for clunky gameplay.
Fulfill.
To meet the requirements or expectations, to achieve or realize.
Examples:
Fulfill a contract. Fulfill a lifetime dream. It was the first time for her, but she fulfilled the role of priest.
Fuel.
A substance that is typically burned to generate heat or energy.
Examples:
Biomass fuel. Smokeless fuel. The manufacturing sector was most severely impacted by the fuel scarcity.
Massive.
Enormous amount, very heavy and solid.
Examples:
Massive amounts. Massive stars. The recent economic downturn has resulted in massive layoffs.
Usage.
The way in which a word or phrase is used in a language, the extent in which how much something is used.
Examples:
monthly usage amount, linguistic usage. The machine had been damaged by rough usage.
Trump.
A playing card with a picture of a trumpeter on it, used in certain card games.
Examples:
Trump card. Choose trump. The trump suit in the game of bridge is determined at the beginning of each hand.
Possession.
The state or fact of owning or having something.
Examples:
Possession of the evidence. A territorial possession. That painting is my possession, and I inherited it from my grandmother.
Editorial.
Relating to the expression of opinions or interpretations in the media.
Examples:
Gain editorial help. An editorial article. The newspaper published an editorial on the current state of the economy.
Materialize.
To become actual or real, to take physical form or shape, to appear or come into existence in a tangible way.
Examples:
Materialize a ceasefire. Materialize in the dimness. The expected profits from their new venture did not materialize as predicted.
Blur.
A faint or indistinct image or sound, something that is not clear or distinct. Verb, to become unclear, to lose clear vision.
Examples:
Blur image. Motion blur. The camera's focus was off, and the image was a blur of colors and shapes.
Evolution.
A gradual process of transformation of living things.
Examples:
Human evolution. Evolution theory. They study the evolution of the universe.
Represent.
To speak, act, or be present on behalf of another person or group, to form or constitute.
Examples:
Represent by a diagram. The characters that represent numbers. We elected him to represent us at the international conference.
Span.
The entire length of something, such as time or space from beginning to end, the amount of space that something covers.
Examples:
The span of a bird's wings. The average lifespan. He slightly modified the span of training because it was just before a match.
Tradition.
A belief, custom, or way of doing something that has been passed down from generation to generation within a group or society.
Examples:
A tradition of a culture. Against tradition. It is a tradition in many families to have a big Thanksgiving dinner with all their relatives.
Ride-sharing.
An arrangement in which a passenger travels in a private car driven by its owner for free or for a fee, especially as arranged by using a website or app.
Examples:
ride-sharing app, ride-sharing parking lot. The court ruled that the ride-sharing company should consider the drivers as employees.
Rid.
To make someone or something free of unwanted or unpleasant tasks, objects, or person.
Examples:
Get rid of the rats. Rid the body of waste products. We must rid ourselves of pollution.
Rental.
The act or process of renting or leasing something, usually for a fixed period of time and in exchange for payment, the property or item that is rented or leased.
Examples:
Rental agreement, rental fee. The movie rental store had a great selection of classic films.
Degree.
A unit of measurement for angles, temperature, or level of proficiency or achievement, a rank or level of academic or professional attainment.
Examples:
Bachelor's degree, degree centigrade. She received her degree in psychology from the university.
Cornerstone.
A fundamental or essential element or component of something, a basis or foundation upon which something is built or developed.
Examples:
Cornerstone of democracy. Lay the cornerstone. Effective communication is often considered the cornerstone of a successful team.
Reputation.
The general opinion that people have about someone or something, especially when this is based on their previous experiences or behaviors.
Examples:
Reputation risk. Cloud his reputation. She has a good reputation for being one of the best chefs in the city.
Creditor.
A person, company, etc., to whom a debtor owes money.
Examples:
The creditor's claims. Bankrupt creditor. I asked the lawyer to initiate creditor negotiations for voluntary liquidation.
Trail.
A path or track roughly through a countryside, mountain, or forest area, often made or used for a particular purpose. Verb, to lag or linger behind.
Examples:
A warm trail. Follow the trail. The storm left a trail of destruction behind it.
Spam.
Unwanted email, usually of advertising material, sent out in bulk.
Examples:
Receive a spam email. Anti-spam technology. You can remove spam messages with special software.
Cumulative.
Increasing or growing by one addition after another.
Examples:
Cumulative improvement. Cumulative damage. The cumulative effect of years of neglect had taken its toll on the old building.
Determinant.
A factor, circumstance, or condition that contributes to the shaping, influencing, or determining of a particular outcome or result.
Examples:
Environmental determinant. A determinant of crop yields. One determinant of success is having a positive attitude and a strong work ethic.
Currency.
A system of money in general use in a particular country.
Examples:
Currency exchange. Digital currency. The currency used in this country is the euro.
Humongous.
Extremely large, gigantic, huge, excessively big.
Examples:
Humongous appetite. Humongous amount. The new office building was humongous and could fit hundreds of employees comfortably.
Hangover.
The unpleasant physical and mental effects a person experiences after consuming too much alcohol, a lasting effect or after effect of something.
Examples:
Hangover cure. Severe hangover. After drinking too much at the party, he woke up with a terrible hangover.
Leap.
To jump or spring into the air, often with the feet leaving the ground or a surface below, to move quickly or suddenly, often forward or upward.
Examples:
Leap to a conclusion. Leap of faith. The athlete was able to leap over the hurdle with ease.
Sustainable.
Able to continue or be continued for a long time.
Examples:
Sustainable alternative fuel. Principles of sustainable development. The government should do more to support environmentally sustainable agriculture.
Innate.
Existing naturally or from birth, inherent or inborn, not acquired or learned through experience.
Examples:
Innate ability. Innate quality. The belief in innate human goodness is a common philosophical concept.
Individual.
A single person or thing, as distinct from a group.
Examples:
A private individual. Individual freedom. As an individual, he had the right to make his own decisions and live his life as he saw fit.
Identity.
The fact of being who or what somebody or something is, the features, emotions, or ideas that distinguish persons from one another.
Examples:
Mistaken identity. Identity as an individual. The terrorist's identity remains unknown.
Refer.
To direct someone's attention, thoughts, or questions to another source or person, to mention, cite, or allude to something as evidence or support.
Examples:
Refer to a book. Refer to a map. Please refer to the instruction manual for further assistance.
Seismic.
Relating to or caused by an earthquake or earth vibration.
Examples:
Seismic activities. A seismic center. Earthquakes produce two types of seismic waves.
Discovery.
The act or process of finding information, a place, or an object, or learning about something that was previously not known.
Examples:
A scientific discovery. The great discovery of the century. Her research team made an important discovery.
Collective.
Done or shared by every member of a group of people.
Examples:
Right to collective bargaining. Collective ownership. Product development is a collective effort.
Disrupt.
To prevent or stop something, especially an event, activity, or process, from continuing in the usual way by causing a problem or disturbance.
Examples:
Disrupt a well-ordered condition. Disrupt sleep. I'm so sorry to disrupt you when you're pretty busy.
Outdated.
No longer useful or valid because of being old-fashioned.
Examples:
Become outdated. Outdated technology. We replaced outdated equipment to improve factory productivity.
Mod.
A modification or alteration, typically one made to improve something or increase its functionality. A British teenager or young adult in the 1960s, noted for their close consciousness and opposition to the rockers.
Examples:
Mod culture. A house with mod cons. The mod for the video game added new features and improved gameplay.
Leapfrog.
A children's game in which players take turns jumping over each other's stooped backs.
Examples:
Leapfrog game. Leapfrog technology. During recess, the children played a game of leapfrog in the schoolyard.
Wasteful.
Characterized by excessive or unnecessary use or consumption, using resources or materials inefficiently or inappropriately, resulting in unnecessary waste or expense.
Examples:
Wasteful practices. Wasteful habits. Buying new clothes every week is a wasteful use of money and resources.